Hello everybody, we're back and we are doing our sketchbook practice again, and this time we're going to be doing noses. So I would go ahead and label underneath our eyes, still the same date, or maybe you're choosing to do this homework at a different date and you could put that date, that would be awesome too. But we should be completing it on the 7th. I'm using a pen, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start drawing some noses. So, sketchbook's labeled. We have our different drawing pencils next to us and a sharpener and maybe an eraser if you need it. I would encourage you not to erase though. We're practicing, we're sketching, so we're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable when we make mistakes sometimes. That's okay, we're gonna keep going. This is just practice. So, for this exercise, we are going to try to follow along as best as we can to get a variety of marks made to look like a nose, just like we did for our eyes. So noses are so funny. Noses are almost a character in themselves, just like eyes and mouths. And it's crazy that with cartoons, you can use basic lines to use straight lines, curved lines, and make it look like you have a nose. Now they're a bit abstract, but they do the job. So go ahead and try to make that upside down question mark for our first mark to make a nose. Kind of looks like a hook. If you drew a little like chain at the top, I imagine a anchor or hook coming down off a ship. Something you could do to give your nose a little bit more of a character just with that simple little upside down question mark is you could, also I'm using an HB. You could do that hook. I actually gave it a little bit more of a roundness instead of the outward oval look. But you could do that hook and then you could make almost parentheses outside the nose so it looks like you have nostrils. So that's something to give you a look, a different look. You could use, instead of a curved line, you could use a almost zigzag line or like a strong tapered line, and then make one little line. It looks like the lapel of a suit. That could be a nose. You could do just a straight line down and then another diagonal straight line the other way, and that's a nose. You could start to use this line after you make that first diagonal to then make the upper lip. And that would give your nose and mouth a totally different feel. The mouth would almost be connected, or that could sit on top of it versus drawing a mouth a little farther down. So that's an idea too. If you are thinking of an anime style, maybe you are not doing this long of a nose, but you're gonna be interested in just a quick curve and then a little point. That's pretty common in anime. Perhaps it's a more dramatic. Oh, I didn't quite get a dramatic one on that. That one actually looks better, I think, than that one. That curve is a little bit deeper, that point is a little longer, so that's even a different nose compared to those. So if you're getting the idea, there's so many ways you can do a nose with simple lines. It blows my mind. I think it's so cool that there's so much you can do just with lines to represent our noses. While I'm still thinking of anime, another nose that you see a lot, which would look better if we were doing the eyes too, but it is this little curve to make the triangle mark. And then there is, ooh, that was really tight. Let's try this. There we go. Had to loosen it up a little bit. And then you'll see sometimes two lines where the bridge of the nose would be and then the eyes would be drawn. Or sometimes if the character's embarrassed, you might see many lines or like the shade of red on the side of the noses. So that shows the space between the eye making the cheeks. So that is something that could change your nose and face as well. Let's see, what other kind of noses could we do? So we don't even have to use the line at the top for the bridge of the nose. We could just make a simple curve, like a smiley face. And if you do eyes, it would look like a nose. Or you could do a line like that to show the bridge of the nose. Let's do another curve like this and make it go a little bit more up, so the nose has more of like a rounded look, and then do the nostrils on the side. That's a nose. Maybe you want to connect them. Maybe you want to do the nostrils, and this would be the actual nostril, but that's the outside edge. Then you could do a curve to show the bridge of the nose on that one. You could make your nose, have a more dramatic bridge, I guess. Yeah. Make a straight line down and then a soft curve at the end. I believe Johnny Bravo, I'm imagining his nose, I think is similar to this. You could make a nose that is simply just this curve right here, and that would be the only thing that's on the face, so it looks more like an arrow, like that. Or maybe you need it to go the other way, like this. Something that's pretty unique for cartoons is that the nose, when you're drawing with value and you're looking at someone straight on, you are bound to having it be realistic from the point of view that you're drawing. But in cartoons, you can get away with exaggerating and almost breaking the rules when it comes to the way that the nose is facing. So even if your character had, let's say, they're looking at you straight, and they have their mouth, you don't have to draw it from a frontal view. You can draw it from the side or the profile view. So that's when these noses come in handy, and you could make it look like it's looking from a side view and it still makes sense on your drawing. So this is one point where you kind of get to defy the rules of the way that things appear in real life, and it still makes sense. It's one of those special times in art. There's so many ways that you can make noses. I encourage you to look up some noses and try to draw them. Maybe try making up some of your own at the bottom of this page. Play with the lines, maybe practice some of your favorite ones. Oh, that's a different one. There we go. And then you'll start to get a feel for which ones you like, or see which ones you might use for when you represent different people or different characters. I definitely go for a simple but still realistic look when I'm drawing more cartoon stylized people. I tend to do this one a lot, and then play with the parenthesis look with the nostrils. That's just my personal go-to nose. And then there's so many variations within them as well. Even the way that now I kind of want to make smaller nostrils on the side of that. I like that one a little bit too. So even the way you just make your marks, you can change up so much variation in them. How this one curves more for the nose, tip of the nose, and then these smaller curved lines, less dramatic than the more parenthesis type shape. So many ways to make noses. It's a lot of fun, and you can really get some personality out in the way that you design your nose. You can define your bridge more too. That kind of looks like it's part of this drawing, but if we were just looking at that, oh, sorry, there we go. This would be the bridge of the nose, and then the nostrils kind of looks like a happy face too. So maybe kind of looks like a tree trunk. By themselves, they look like noses. You just gotta imagine the eyes. So yeah, there are our noses for today's exercise. Thanks for following along, and I will see you on our next exercises with the rest of the facial features.